everybody, this is Dom from Upstate Supernatural. I'd like to welcome everybody in for a brand new session of Spirit Box Weekly. I do apologize. I literally just walked in the door, and for everybody that's friends with me on Facebook, kind of saw what I was doing. I'm loaning out some equipment for a local team. They're doing an event this weekend. I was offered it, but I gotta do a sound gig Friday and Saturday. And for all the new viewers, thank you for tuning in. Again, this is the GeminusBox. This is Mark II. This is made by Brian Holloway and Spain Paranormal, and it's definitely a curious device. We got this week and another week, and then we're going to be switching to another spirit box. I'm going to try to move that camera a little bit closer so you can see it a little better. But Spirit Box Weekly, for any new viewers, if you're tuning into this, we test out different spirit communication devices, and from physical boxes to applications to trying to think what other, to actual radios, things like that. Android based, Windows based, whatever it may be. My hope is that with testing this out, you guys may find something you like, and it might stop you from buying something you don't like. These, again, I can never make a guarantee that we're ever going to get any communication, but we've been lucky enough in the past that we have. So I'd like to continue doing the tests on it. And also, if you guys could please like the video, and also if you could share it. We're trying to hit our 2,000 mark with our subscribers. And if we do hit that, I have a Fuji Instamax camera that once we hit 2,000, we're going to do a raffle and give that away. And let me take away this aux cord. But yeah, I'd like to see kind of what happens. So everybody, let's go ahead and turn this on. This is our third week testing this out, and we're on the Geminus Mark II. And I just want to make sure the audio is good and loud for you. Make sure you guys can hear it. Okay, and then the other thing, just for anybody that may be new, it's good to see you, Gypsy, Ed, Bloody Mary, Judy, Doppel, Psycho Love, Steph. If I'm missing anybody, I do apologize. Female paranormal investigators. Pumpkinhead Paranormal. Bill, it's good to see you, bud. And Doppel had a question. I said I would ask it. He's curious. Spirits, can you tell who's gonna win tonight's baseball game, World Series? It's the Astros and the Dodgers. I'm gonna get a little more with it. If you had a team you would prefer to win, would it be the Astros or the Dodgers? Interesting tidbit of history. The Dodgers used to be from Brooklyn, and they used to be, the name Dodgers actually came from trolley Dodgers. They were called that. That's where their name kind of came into formation. Now, any spirits and individuals that are trying to communicate, my name's Dominic. It is October 25th of 2017. The time right now for me is 9:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm in the United States. in New York State, actually. This is the Mark II. Now, how is your evening going tonight? Anybody that may be able to hear me? Now, with any of the Spirit Box devices, any spirit communication, I've found in the past, the louder that you talk and the slower that you talk, the easier it is for us to hear you. Okay, yeah. I downloaded number 1, and I tried it on the tablet. It wasn't working. It was the tablet's running Jelly Bean 4.3, and I think it needs Lollipop. So I actually, or Marshmallow. My phone's Marshmallow, Android system. But I haven't tried the Mark III yet, and I like to try to spread it out a little bit. You know what I mean? Try this device, try that device. Try to spread it out a little. Now, if there's any individual that may be trying to communicate, would you happen to be able to let me know what your name is? I like to talk to people kind of by knowing their name and so forth. Arthur? Where's James? James actually will be on tomorrow night with James. James will be around. And actually, after this session, I may be on Skype with James as well. Well, it depends on what's going on with him. And if you guys are hearing anything in the chat, please feel free to type what you're hearing. Just put a quotation around that word so I know that's what you're hearing. Just makes it a little bit easier. What's one of your favorite things to try to talk about? A lot of people try to talk about religion and afterlife and things like that. What do you enjoy? You ever watch any like TV shows or radio shows? Abbott and Costello? So that'd be a radio show. Were you into music at all, or? Maybe some Cat Stevens. Leonard Cohen, or trying to think of some older artists. Jim Croce, he was in the 60s, 70s. For James again, that was like the second or third time I've heard it. Last week was very James. Last week was very interesting. And I'm not saying this to cause any issues or anything in any capacity, but we were hearing like Stephen Huff. We were hearing Huff coming through the device. And I haven't heard it this evening. What's one of your favorite things to do when people are trying to communicate with you? Anybody ever play cards with you when trying to communicate? What about anybody ever try to play dominoes with you, or checkers? Any type of game? I can't imagine you trying to play Monopoly. It's a hard game for all of us. It gets a little competitive. What type of questions do you guys have? Everybody in the chat, what type of questions do you guys have? Charlie, it's good to see you, bud. I don't have that game. I would try that, even though I've heard some ridiculous things with it. The Cards Against Humanity. The only board game I actually have nearby is called Oodles. It came out in 1995, I believe it was. You hand a plastic bone around, and you have to like answer questions and things like that. And it's team oriented, but they only made it, I think, for 1 year. Now I enjoy when we can get it to happen. I enjoy playing euchre, hearts, spades, pitch. Tim Robbins. James, you with your box thing that you play all the time. Sometimes when we're in Skype, The Game That Never Ends, something like that. I can't remember the name of it, but charades. Charades. Phil, thanks for being in here. Again, if you guys have any questions in the chat, feel free to type those in the chat. Be happy to ask, questions you guys have as well. In spirits, do you have any questions for us? How does a man go bald? Sure. I can't answer that one. I do not think you're stupid at all. I am very curious of the questions you guys have to us. A lot of us do communication, and a lot of us are, what's your name? Who are you? Where were you born? How old are you? No. What questions do you have for us? How old am I? I'm 33. God, that's weird to say it out loud. What year was I born? 1984. Okay, we got some questions. Some of these are very interesting. Is the veil thin between the spirit world and our world at this time? This one's a little rough. This one, I'm gonna ask it. It's a little rough. Do you feel that the Antichrist will make an appearance soon? It's alive. Well, there's your answer. Speaking about the veil being thin, when you're trying to do communication with us, do you find it easier when trying to communicate with us during the holidays, during like Christmas time and things like that? Oddly enough, I mean, the holidays, I do believe communication has a lot to do with emotion. It sounds weird, but the times when people see the most or hear the most is when they're at a very heightened emotional state. I know that from my own personal experience. And Christmas time can be of both sides. Some people can be extremely happy because of what's going on in their life, happy family and all that stuff, and then you have the complete opposite where people are not happy. They're very depressed, they're very lonely, because during the holidays they don't have really anybody. So you have both extremes that exist during the holiday times of most holidays. do you know any hidden secrets about our world, like Earth? Not necessarily your world. Just is there any hidden secrets that we as a people haven't found that you guys are just chuckling about? If so, just laugh. Just laugh. Yeah. How do you feel? Do you feel like you have powers, or do you feel like separated? Do you feel separated from the rest of society? This is coming from Phil with the ITC collaboration. For those of you on Facebook, check it out. It's a group on Facebook, ITC collaboration. But is there day or night where you feel you are? Night. How do you feel about holidays? Is it emotional for you as well? It's a very emotional time for you. Now, when holidays come up, can you celebrate it with your family? Do you guys celebrate it just yourselves? This question is coming from Mary. Do you know if there's any alien evidence that may be released soon? And another question. If you guys are wondering why I'm delaying asking these questions, I'm trying to leave a little bit of a gap, hopefully for the individuals we're speaking with to be able to answer. So I'm trying to leave a little bit of a gap between the questions. When the JFK files are revealed, is there things we're gonna find that are gonna surprise us? Do you know that? And this comes from Judy. Great question, Judy. Do you guys need to rest? Do you need sleep? And as always, and I do appreciate that, Mary. Don't forget to check out each other's channels. Pumpkinhead Paranormal, he's got great content. Phil does as well. And I know there's other Spooky Raven. They do a fantastic show Tuesdays. You got Crispy and Nikki Paranormal that do a radio show. They do that, I believe, Monday nights, Sunday or Monday nights. And then there's some great channels out there on YouTube. Don't forget to swing over, support one another. Definitely shows good camaraderie. Are you, as spirits or individuals that we're speaking with, are you able to visit your families often? Or do you not get to do that? Oh, BPG, it's good to see you, buddy. Of course. Chris, it's fantastic to see you. Again, if you guys in the chat have any questions, feel free to type those in the chat. I'd be happy to ask, the questions that you guys may have. No, this is actually charged. But again, everybody, if you wouldn't mind, please hit that like button. It definitely helps out. And please don't forget to share. We're trying to hit 2,000 subscribers on the channel, and as soon as we do that, we're gonna do a raffle. It's gonna be free. We're gonna be giving away a Fujifilm Instamax camera. But without people viewing the content and things like that, makes doing the shows a little bit difficult. We do enjoy putting the content out there, but it still makes it a little challenging to keep it going. When I'm doing this as a tablet, I can view the chat right here and type right to you without having to type on the laptop. Things like that. Gotta make sure the audio is not doing that. Now, spirits and individuals, is there any form of initiation you have to go through?
Well,
Testing 1 2. There she is. Throw this right here. Spirits and individuals, can you go any place you want to go, or are you kind of stuck physically in a location? I heard spirits a second ago. Very cool, Chris. I do believe I saw some of that stuff on Facebook too. But very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, I do apologize, everybody. Due to my scheduling conflicts, our Spirit Box Weekly is now Wednesdays. Thursdays will still stay the same with Loving Whispers, but just due to work schedule, I had to switch days. Some of the sound gigs are on Fridays and on Saturdays, so it just made it kind of challenging. And Thanksgiving Eve is a Wednesday. That evening, there won't be a Spirit Box Weekly. I believe that's in 3 weeks. 3-4 weeks. But I have a sound gig, of course, on a Wednesday that week. So no matter how I try to do this, it's kind of stuck. Another question. This is from Mary. Do you know if our past relatives, our relatives that have passed on, if they're aware of our everyday lives? I'd like to answer that, and I'd like to say I believe they are. Ed said he is frustrated because of Dennis. And I'd like to make a note, I just heard Steve Huff again through this, so it could be a repeating phrase. I do apologize. You know, it's one of those things when you're going through Spirit Box applications, you figure out which phrases are said. That's very cool, though. Absolutely cool, Chris. So one amazing thing with the paranormal, there are so many fascinating individuals. So many individuals that just have fascinating lives that are a part of the paranormal. I mean, and especially with YouTube and technology nowadays, it's fantastic. You know, BPG, you're in Ireland, and we're able to communicate, and we're able to do this all together. I mean, it's fantastic. Fantastic. 10, 15 years ago, well, 15 years ago, it would have been, you know, talking to somebody on your cell phone that looked like this. It looked like a walkie-talkie. Nowadays, you know, our cell phones look like what this app is running on. It's just absolutely pretty cool. Excellent question. Spirits and individuals. When are you able to see yourself like through a mirror? And if you do, do you look as you remembered? Do you continue to age? And actually, we're gonna do the walkie-talkie thing again.
Testing 1, 2, 3. When I make spirit box, I'm not gonna have my name on it at all.
Say
Any spirits and individuals, I'd just like to personally say thank you. Thank you for trying to communicate with us. Spirits and individuals within communication, how do you feel about, all the people that are trying to do communication throughout the field, throughout the world? Out of all the different tools for communication, what is your favorite thing to use for communication?
Listen. Listen. What? So good.
So you like talking about your town or the state? What state? What states have you visited? Thank you, Bill. I do agree, Mary. I do agree with that. Florida? I heard Florida. Okay. So you've been to Florida. I do apologize. I only heard one so far. Michigan? Okay. Now, did you ever, did you ever get to travel overseas? I've never actually done that. It's one of those things I really want to do. I want to go to Egypt, personally. I appreciate that, BPG. Majestic? That is really one of the oddest things with spirit communication, like spirit boxes and applications. We're all hearing different things all the time, and you know, sometimes it's really the clearest responses that we all can agree upon, but the rest of it is kind of like pareidolia. Well, it is pareidolia. But, it's one reason I wanted to start a new show, and I really should. Really should. Kind of shows some tips and tricks and things like that for any new investigators. Now, I've been to Canada quite a few times. I haven't been up near James's area, but I've been to Niagara Falls, Canada, Toronto. Been around that area a bunch of times. Now, I'm going to dabble into some interesting things that I think are interesting. There's been a lot of investigators, as of late, within the past few months, 2-3 months, and this is not stemmed off from one individual. This is multiple individuals. A lot of individuals are turning and saying that a lot of the communication they're talking to is people that were forsaken, the damned, things like that. I don't believe that. And a lot of them are turning back to their faith, turning to God, which aren't bad things. But how do you feel you are? Do you feel lost? Do you feel forgotten? Or do you feel gifted to be able to still continue to communicate? You know, you'll see with all these shows and a lot of stuff out there, demon this, demon that, demon this, demon that. Have you, the individuals we're speaking with, have you ever encountered an evil entity, an evil individual? I don't mean just a mean person. I mean like an actual evil individual. Surely. It's good to have you in here. Do you feel you're in what everybody would call limbo? I'm not gonna discount that there are some right. Do you feel overly missed, or you're afraid to let things go? What for an individual that may be where you are, that's having a tough time letting things go, is it letting go of their family, or is it letting go of maybe a mistake they made? Mistakes. What I can tell you, and this is just from my own knowledge, through doing spirit communication, through EVPs and things like that at different locations, you don't have to regret. You don't have to feel bad for. You don't have to feel bad anymore about those mistakes or those things. If you can surround yourself with peace, love, and understanding, you are free to go where you would like to. That's what I've learned. And one of the biggest things I learned, and this through EVP stuff, and this is for everybody in the chat and anybody that may ever view this, do not live with regret. Do not. Many of you know my story. Many of you know why I got into the paranormal. I'd been in it, before, but I was in a very dark, sad, lonely place, and the paranormal called. I had a friend that said, "Hey, dude, you need to check out this property," and because of the individuals that came through, because of the people that I was able to communicate with, I learned a lot. And that was one of the big lessons. Do not live with regret. Do not. Now I'm gonna bounce into that. A lot of us are afraid within our lives that we only have one life that we live. And then there's theories and there's other ideas that there's reincarnation. Is there any insight possibly that you may have to either help people's fear go away from that, or give them some validation? Life or love? I believe I heard love. BPG, I'm telling you from experience, my friend. We were doing spirit communication at the Finger Lakes Mall in the Stephen Barry spot. Right now, the Spirit's a Halloween spot. And we would shine a flashlight and hear a woman say, "Turn off the light." And I would ask similar questions, and I'd always get responses about "don't live in regret," "be happy," regret will lead to sadness. You know, all these types of things. And I mean, I was in a bad spot in my life. Like, just I worked a lot, did a lot, took care of a lot of people, a lot of things, and had an immeasurable sadness from a situation that was unbeatable for me personally. And that's the one thing in our lives we can battle for ourselves, and we can always win. But when you're trying to battle for someone else and they don't want to win at that time, you'll always be defeated. And I learned that extremely the hard way. But never give up. You know, never give up on the goodness in others, per se, or the good potential in others. Never give up on that. Maybe that's why I don't full-heartedly believe in the whole demonology thing that everybody's pulling on, because I haven't been in that situation. I truly think a lot of it could be misinterpreted. A spirit could be pissed off because you're invading its space, or it's just extremely frustrated. Sorry. Or it's sorry, I guess, yeah. Before we end our session tonight, I like this idea. I really like this idea. Before we end our session tonight, and I'd like to continue doing this if I can remember to. Spirits and individuals, do you have a line of wisdom, maybe something of wisdom you would like to try to tell to us or to everybody in the world that may view this? And again, try to speak as slowly and as loudly as you can. I like that thought, Chris. Yeah, I like that. So, do you have a line of? Do you have something of wisdom you would like to share yourself? I'm gonna turn this off in about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I got that off. Yeah, I think that's a new thing I want to try to instigate with every session of Spirit Box Weekly. I think let's try to see. I've done it way early on. We did stuff with like let's try to see if we can try to communicate with Shakespeare, things like that. Trying to communicate with maybe somebody that's really old. Problem is, they're not going to know who I am, and it took me a long time. It took a few months to kind of realize that, and it took other people doing that stuff where I'm talking to Prince after they passed away, and you really think on it, and it's like, why would Prince talk to you? He didn't know you. You're kind of a random person to that individual. But I think if we do this, where we ask them if maybe there's a form of wisdom, something maybe they learned that they'd like to pass along, I think that might be good. Maybe something good will come out of that. How many times in our life has there been things of great wisdom that we learned from our elders, and we know it and we pass it on to the kids and things, but if something happens to us and we don't pass that along, it gets lost. So I don't know. I think that might be a good aspect to add into the Spirit Box Weekly. But I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in, and don't forget, tomorrow night we have Loving Whispers. We have James, Renee, and I will be on there, and I gotta figure out when and how to do this other show, and I gotta start doing it. I want to show people how to go through stuff, go through evidence, no matter what kind of evidence it is, how to go through it, how I go through it, and then in time I'd like to evolve it to bring in other people and see how they do it, so that maybe that might be helpful in helping to like teach new investigators new tricks or different ideas. It's just one of those things I've had in my head for quite a long time. And I have another thing in my head, which I got to write this stuff down. But I can't tell you guys about it. But I've talked to Renee. Renee knows, and she thinks it's a great idea. And I think it's a great idea myself. Not because it's my idea, but I think it could be a new way to come across. So I got to figure out the logistics, figure out all the different things with it. And once I get that all figured out, I'm going to put it out there, and hopefully it's enjoyable. Hopefully people find it useful. I think is a better term for it. But everybody, thanks again for tuning in. And don't forget to check out each other's channels. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and to share to Upstate Supernatural. And this upcoming weekend is the Halloween bash, Halloween weekend for a lot of people. So if you guys are going out partying, enjoy, be safe. I personally, I'll be working all weekend with people that are partying, but I'll still be working. I promise you that. And I'm very serious about like when I do jobs and stuff. I don't screw around. It's just not my thing. But yeah, I'd again like to thank everybody for tuning in, and hope to see everybody tomorrow night for Loving Whispers. So if not, have a wonderful weekend. Be safe. And even if you're not partying, be safe, because some people are, and you don't know who's behind the wheel. But enjoy the rest of your evening, and enjoy the rest of the weekend. And we will catch you later.